Is corporate greed really behind the rising cost of living? This question stirs the pot in households, boardrooms, and government offices alike. But hold that thought, as recent findings from the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco might just change the conversation. It turns out, the narrative that corporate greed, or as some might say, greedflation, is fueling inflation, might not hold water. Researchers at the SF Fed have peeled back the layers of this complex issue, revealing that the surge in inflation seen from 2021 to 2022 wasn't primarily due to corporate price gouging. Indeed, companies did exercise pricing power during this period. For instance, markups, where companies increased prices above production costs, saw a spike in various sectors like gasoline and cars, as well as in services like repair and personal care. Yet, when viewed from a broader perspective, these markups across the economy didn't play the starring role in driving up inflation. Dive deeper into the data, and one finds that aggregate markups, which give a more comprehensive view of inflation, have remained relatively stable since the economic recovery began. This pattern, according to the SF Fed, aligns with previous economic recoveries. In essence, the recent inflationary trends do not stand out as extraordinary when placed in the context of historical data. This perspective challenges popular rhetoric from figures like Senator Elizabeth Warren and President Joe Biden, who have pointed fingers at corporate greed as a significant factor in rising prices. While it's undeniable that some sectors reported record profits during this period, the overarching influence of corporate greed on inflation appears to be more nuanced. President Biden, in particular, has vocalized frustration over what he describes as corporate practices that exploit consumers, such as shrinkflation, where products shrink in size but not in price. Though these practices indeed raise eyebrows and ire among consumers, the SF Fed's study suggests these factors alone are not the main drivers of the broader inflationary waves. To encapsulate, while it's easy to pinpoint corporate greed as the villain behind rising costs, the real story is far more complex. Inflation is a multifaceted beast influenced by a variety of factors, including but not limited to corporate pricing strategies. Understanding this complexity is crucial in crafting policies that effectively address the root causes of inflation, rather than just the symptoms. So next time you hear someone blame corporate greed for all economic woes, remember, it's important to look at the full picture. Economic narratives, much like the markets themselves, are rarely black and white.